What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Matt Burrill, and I'm here to tell you guys about our friends from Big Friendly Productions. Now, Big Friendly Productions, BFP, they specialize in creating merchandise for bands, artists, and lifestyle brands. With their in-house equipment, they can produce shirts. Fuck, I am struggling today. A lot of caffeine. All right, 1, 2, 3. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Matt Burrill, here to tell you guys about my friends from Big Friendly Productions. Now, they specialize in creating merchandise for bands, artists, and even lifestyle brands. With their in-house equipment, they can provide shirts, branded hats, and more, as well as some graphic design services. They offer order fulfillment to handle your online orders and ship your merch straight to your fans from their shop down in good old Birmingham, Alabama, baby. Now, whether you are getting your first shirt, you're just starting out, or you're going on a 40-show run, hit them up for all your merchandising needs. Check out their website, bigfriendlyproductions.com, or shoot them an email, merchandising@bigfriendlyproductions.com. Now, we're going to get into the episode. This is Outside the Round with Matt Burrill. Also, make sure you guys like, rate, subscribe, tell your mama and them. And for more details and to get in touch with the rest of the familia, visit raisrowdy.com. Now, let's get into it. Outside the Round with me, Matt Burrill, a Raise Rowdy podcast. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Outside the Round. Today, a very special episode. You know, it's a special occasion when I got the shades on, and it's freaking 10:41 in the morning. We have got the man, the myth, the legend. There are guys and girls that are personalities in town that do the music thing, that are talented artists, songwriters, musicians, but they're just vibes. They're just hangs. And this guy is the epitome of that. You think of Spicoli from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. You think of Joe Dirt. You think of Kid Rock. You put them all into one young, talented, beautiful man. It is this guy right here, Lil Skinny.
What's up, Matt?
How the fuck are you doing, my guy?
Man, I'm doing great this morning, Feeling great. Feeling all the vibes.
The attire today, you are just like stone cold pimping.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was cold, and when the cold weather hits, I'm like, oh, this is my time to shine. This is my time to break out the crazy shit, and this is probably not the craziest thing I have in my closet, which is pretty scary.
Yeah, what? So we got a coyote on the hat.
Yeah, this is a coyote hat, and this is like a chinchilla, which is
that's
like
a lot
not
of
real, of course, but
it's a lot of chinchillas.
Yeah, it's a lot. That's what they call it on the website. I was just like, okay, I'll just go with it. I think that's probably a code word for this is mystery fur. We don't know what it came from, but yeah, man, I'm feeling out the vibes today. I was like, I don't think I need to go half-assed to go see my boy Matt Burrill today. So,
dude,
I just had to pimp it out a little bit.
I love it. I love all the rings you got on too.
Yeah,
bro.
man. Well, yeah, this one's my favorite right here. So this is my Razorback ring because I'm from Arkansas.
Woo pig.
Woo pig, baby.
Hell
Let's go. But yeah, man.
That's awesome, man. So you've been in town for how long now? Because you're a Nashville native of Nashville, Arkansas.
So yeah, man. I'm originally from Nashville, Arkansas, and I moved to Tennessee about a year and going on a year and 11 months ago. So,
wow.
We're fixing to go, year 10, year 11 months. So my 2-year anniversary will be about mid-January.
No shit. When do you know the exact date in January?
Yeah, it'll be like that last weekend was when I first moved here. It's like, yeah.
That's right around my birthday.
Oh shit. So it'd been like 21st around there.
Yeah, I was 20. Yeah, I'm January 23rd for my birthday.
Yeah, so about that time. So I don't know if you remember 2 years ago when I first moved here, it snowed real big.
Yes,
and everybody got locked in their house. So I was here. My first day in Nashville, I didn't even get to go out. I had to stay in my Airbnb I rented for 2 nights before I could ever go out.
Jeez.
And on the third night, I went out, and that's when I discovered Red Door. And then everything changed from there.
Yeah, that was the week that everybody was on Clubhouse. I don't know if you remember that. Everybody was on this app called Clubhouse, and it was like chat room things on the phone where it'd be like almost like TED Talks.
Yeah.
And all of us were on that for like the week that Nashville shut down because of the snow. And it was like 7 inches of snow. It wasn't even like a ton of snow.
It wasn't even at that time. So like we've gotten that much in Arkansas before in my lifetime. So like it wasn't that crazy amount, but for some reason everybody's just like,
dude, that's what they do. People freak the fuck out over the snow. And I remember everybody being on Clubhouse and being like, and Nikki and I were talking because this was obviously long before him and I merged with Raise Rowdy. Yeah. And I remember him and I being like, so instead of rounds, are we gonna do this now? And it was like,
is this it?
It's like, what is happening? But then after a week, shit went back to normal.
Yeah, it went back to normal. It's like, is this COVID again? But like snowvid? Or like, what's going on?
What was your first Red Door? So that first night that you go to Red Door,
Yeah, so what started out was the only thing I knew about was Whiskey Jam. So I went down to Whiskey Jam and checked that out down at Winters, and I met a bunch of people. And I was on American Idol at one
Yeah.
point, and so I was actually on there 2 different times. But I met a couple people from American Idol. I'm like, oh shit, this is cool. At Whiskey Jam, they're like, we're going over to Red Door, and I was like, what's Red Door? And that's a crazy question now because I spent my last 2 years in there. But I was like, what's Red Door? They're like, come on, we'll show you. So I go with my buddy, and we go down there, and we start hanging out, and about that time, Jelly Roll walks in, and he just starts hanging with us, and like 2 more American Idol people walk in, 3 more American Idol people, and there's like 8 American Idol contestants and Jelly Roll just hanging out in Red Door, and that's when I stopped remembering things.
No shit.
But yeah, man, that was my very first night out in Nashville, moving here.
Yeah, I feel like of all the people that I know that find themselves in just the wildest situations, just from being a good hang, you're on that list of just the rooms in the company that you found yourself in over the past 2 years has got to be just insane. You must have just seen all. Like you hang out on John Daly's bus all the fucking time. I see you with Kid Rock. I see you with Coetzel.
Yeah.
I see you with Jelly, and I'm like, nothing surprises me. If I saw you hanging out with Trump, I'd be like, it's just another day in the life of Little Skinny.
Well,
this is
hopefully
just what
that's coming
happens.
soon. I'm trying to work on that. But anyways,
Really?
yeah, hopefully one of these days. You never know, man. You never know. I don't do too much wishful thinking here, but yeah, man, I gotta say, first of all, is I'm really blessed, man. I live an awesome life, and I got some really cool friends. When I came to town, everybody told me it was a 10-year town, and it is in a way. And what was cool about that was when I moved here, I thought I had all the time in the world, so I wasn't really looking for try to make big career moves or anything. I was just coming to find friends because I was moving to a new place that I absolutely knew maybe like 2 people in this town, and so I came out here just to find good friends, and it just kind of also making awesome friends, making these awesome relationships. A career came with it, and I'm so blessed to have all these cool hangs and just living life to the fullest, man. It's so cool because I can wake up every day and I have a smile on my face, like I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen today, but it's gonna be cool, and I'm excited for it. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so the other night we had Butt Rock Night.
Oh, yeah.
And God, that was our 3rd one. It was Nothing But Rock Volume 3.
Epic.
And to me, it was, they just keep getting better and better every time we fucking do them. And this one was extra special because usually we have to put a writer's round in front of it or we have to do karaoke at the end of it. This time we were able to facilitate the whole night with full band stuff and a couple of little solo performances thrown in there by Dean and Mikey.
Yeah.
But it was fucking wild. And one of my favorite moments, bro, was, and this was cultivated previously by us being at the fucking Rusty Nail. Shout out to the Rusty fucking Nail.
The Rusty fucking.
God bless the Rusty fucking Nail. The RFN, Rusty fucking Nail. We gotta make those hats RFN like the BNA has, but they're RFN
Bro, I
on the
sport
back.
one.
Rusty Nail. Oh, I would too.
The fur coat might get shelved on that. For the fur hat. The fur hat might get shelved for the Rusty fucking Nail.
Dude, Rusty fucking Nail. But you had played Rhythm and Smoke, and we were doing like covers, and you were like, and I didn't even know the song "Tomorrow" by Silverchair. I had never even heard it, but you fucking played it at Rhythm and Smoke.
Yeah, I think it went down was Joe Haydale started playing like Tonic or
Yes.
something like that, and I was like, oh, dude, if we're gonna do like 90s shit, I'll throw some stuff out.
Yeah.
And so Silverchair was one of my favorite songs to cover from that stuff because growing up back in Arkansas, I did a shitload of cover gigs, and I was only about an hour from Texarkana. So I would go down to East Texas and play down there a bunch. And I'll never forget, right when COVID started, I was playing at a little brewery down in Texarkana, and these people came up to me, and they're like, hey, we'd like to book you for our Memorial Day party. I was like, sweet, that'd be awesome. And they were having a big pool party. Well, country shuts down, all this stuff happening, and we're like, we're still having it.
Yeah, no shit. Woo Pig.
Woo Pig, let's go. Well, I pull up, and these people had this incredible pad. I mean, great big house, so you had to have a gate code to get in. I go pull up, and I'm like, all right, let's go. And I go out there, they're having this big pool party. Well, it starts raining, and it starts thundering and stuff. They're like, we're going to move it inside. So I'm inside of this great big house, and I'm playing in front of their wine cellar. I've put JBL speakers in front of their wine cellar, and I start getting on a stool, and I start playing stuff, and like 2 hours in, and nobody's really listening. Well, everybody starts getting drunk by the 3rd hour, and they're all in, and I'm like tired by this point. They're like, we'll pay you to keep going, and it's just $100 bills, $100 bills, $100 bills. And I'm like, all right, I'll stay. And so I keep playing, and then about the fourth hour, they're like, "We want to hear some shit from back in our day. Play some '90s grunge." And I'm like, "Oh God, here we go." So I started like playing these songs on spot, and a few of them actually worked out. And "Tomorrow" by Silverchair was one of their requests. So thank you to those people I played for their wine cellar for inspiring Butt Rock Night 4 years ago.
Yeah, what year were you born?
At 99.
So you were born in 99.
Yeah. So I was born in 99. It's a sign.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and how crazy is it to have some good buddies that are still like big names like Bob and John and folks like that, but their heyday was like before
That's the shit they're into, yeah.
Yeah, it was like the year that you were born was like their heyday. That was when John was ripping darts on the PGA Tour, and that was when Bob was doing Woodstock '99, and that was the year you were born. So is it like, are those guys like uncles, like father figures? Like, what's the relationship like with these dudes?
I think a lot of people, think of me a little bit more like an old soul, and one of the things that kind of translated that, in my life was when I was younger, I was hanging around a lot of old men. So me and my dad had a hunting dog kennel back home, and I was Little Skinny, and my dad's nickname was Skinny. So that's how I got the nicknames, so Skinny and Little Skinny.
Okay.
And we had Skinny Boys Kennels. And so we had these hunting dogs, and we go train them, and we chased coyotes is what we did. And so we chased fox, deer, and coyotes, and did all these field trials, these competitions. And with being in that environment, I was around a lot of older men, a lot of older guys, so that I just naturally wanted to hang out with guys, 10 years older or twice my age, just because that's where I was comfortable. Because I didn't want to do what kids my age were doing. That wasn't fun. I wanted to do like big boy shit. I wanted to like go kill stuff, shoot guns, ride around trucks. Like, let's go do some cool shit. So I think that kind of translated into me coming to Nashville, kind of hanging out with some of these guys that had been around, and I learned so much for people like that.
Yeah, dude, you got to make a hat that has Skinny's Kennels. That's got to be part of that's got to be part of the Little Skinny merch line.
I have an old shirt that we made to go to this one hunt one time to represent. But I do have an old Skinny Boys Kennel shirt.
Yeah, I'm saying that should be part of your merch line. Like, that's part of the brand.
Skinny Boys
Skinny Boys Kennels.
Come on.
Like, bro, I think honestly, I think people fucking wear it. Like, honestly,
we don't know what this is, but
dude, but that's what fucking works. Like, we put a raccoon on a t-shirt and people go apeshit for it.
Yeah, actually, it's funny you said that. My mom had a fit over that shirt. She saw somebody wearing it downtown. She's like, I gotta have one of those. It's like, I think I know where to hook you up. And so when I went back to Arkansas recently, I brought her that shirt. She was floored. She loved it. So yeah, mom's repping the Raised Rowdy merch at the daycare.
Well, she knows that she raised you rowdy. That's been one of the that's something. And I wasn't around for when this stuff was happening, but when Nick and Jacob Gearden, who was the other co-owner of Raised Rowdy until I came in and bought out Jacob's half. We love you, Jacob. But one of the things that with the early days of Raised Rowdy was Nick UT and all those guys that just started as a group of friends going to concerts, drinking all the beers, being in the front row, and knowing every word to Ashley McBride songs when she was playing the clubs. To
Arkansas.
To Ashley McBride, to Cadillac 3, to early Luke Combs, early Riley Green, early Muscadine Bloodline, like early Hardy, and they were getting in with these artists because at the time they were in the positions that you're in, or that. Yeah. Even like we're like our friends like Ella Langley or people that are on the come up right now. And the Raised Rowdy crew was like invested in them, going up 10, 11 shows a year of the Cadillac 3 or Lainey Wilson, these people. So the parents started taking notice, the parents of the artists. Yeah. So like Mama Combs, Riley's mom, Mama Duckman, Mama Muncaster, Charlie Muncaster from Muscadine's mom. And they were like, we love this. You're damn right we raised them rowdy, And that was one of the things was you had the parents of these artists wearing Raised Rowdy shit because they're like, hell yeah, we did raise them rowdy,
So they are.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of one of the early moments of like Raised Rowdy growing was that the artists that are all superstars now, when they were all coming up, the parents saw Nick and the crew up in Pittsburgh, and they were like, yeah, we did raise them rowdy. Yeah. So
shout out to the awesome, supportive, amazing parents, you know.
Yeah, dude,
That
honestly.
understanding parents.
Yeah, because you're young, so you're fucking 24.
Yeah, 24. Yeah, I
You're
just turned 24.
You're 24, and you were talking about doing, like, being on Idol
Yeah,
young,
man.
doing gigs young, I'm sure, singing in
Started when I was
church.
15.
Yeah.
But just singing and stuff. I started playing drums when I was 12.
I'm
And so,
sure your
yeah.
parents love that.
Oh, yeah, man. My first gig ever, my first bar gig, I was 13. I think I just turned 14. I played at Rum Boogies on Bill Street. Was my first gig ever.
Beale Street, like Memphis?
In Memphis. So yeah, so I don't really talk about this much, but I was actually a blues artist when I first started. So when I was 15, I was on American Idol. I actually did blues music. I want to be like Stevie Ray Vaughan. I played trios.
Doesn't surprise me. Knowing you, like, it doesn't, the blues, like,
Yeah, man, that was my first love. Like that's basically my roots.
yeah, is that part of growing up in Arkansas, like being near the Delta? Because
Yeah, man.
it is that is such a huge part of the culture. Like, I've been to Jackson, Mississippi,
Yeah.
and we've done shows at Dueling Hall, and we'll stay one that when I was with Gary and Charlie, we got to Jackson the night we spent the night before in Jackson,
Yeah.
and there was some little old blues club, sketchy as all hell.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you go in there and it's just these old folks of all colors, all shapes and sizes on stage, and they're just jamming, and you're like, this is some of the best fucking music I've ever heard. And you being from Arkansas and having Memphis nearby, having Mississippi nearby.
Yeah, and East Texas had a big blues.
Yeah, dude,
blues scene
that's
too,
the world you got to grow up in. So
Yeah,
it doesn't
man.
surprise me that Lil Skinny was coming up as a blues guy.
Yeah, man. When I was 15, I made it on American Idol, and I was doing blues music, and I kind of did that up until I was about 18. And that was a big turn of events because 18 is when we finally sold the dog kennel and everything. We got rid of the hunting dogs, and I was going to college and realized I had a headline or co-headline with a big blues festival. And I made like $400, and I was like, "There's no way I'm gonna be able to make a living playing the blues. Like, it's sad, I love it, but I'm gonna have to do something different." So I was kind of lost. And I ended up going to Ouachita Baptist in Arkadelphia, Arkansas, which is a Christian school. And there's a highway that divides Ouachita Baptist and Henderson State University, which was the state school, the party school.
Yeah.
And so there's a highway dividing them. Well, over at Henderson State University, my very first week of college, they had a concert in the football field, and they put a stage on the track, looked up towards the bleachers, and they had Co Wetzel and Whiskey Myers. Noise Complaint had just came out with Co Wetzel.
Wow.
I paid like $10 or $15 for a ticket, walked across the street, went to the concert, had a dorm meeting that I would have got fined like $300 if I missed. So I watched Co Wetzel in the intermission. I went back to the dorm meeting, walked back across, bought another ticket, went in and saw Whiskey Myers, and it changed my life. I was like, this is the type of shit I want to do. And so that's what kind of molded what Lil Skinny is today, kind of doing the country southern rock thing.
And that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Like, and that was Noise Complaint had just come out. That's what then, 16, 17?
18.
Or that's 2018.
Yeah, 2018.
Okay, 2018.
Yeah,
Okay.
2018's fall of 2018 was when that. So I think Noise Complaint came out like February or March of
Yeah.
2018.
Yeah, because my first time seeing Co was in 2019,
Yeah.
Christmas, like right.
they're starting to catch some traction then.
Yeah,
they're just starting to get some-
Harold Saul High.
Yeah,
had
Harold
ju-
Saw I just that's when they got their boost.
That had just come out. And we did some shows when I was out with Muscadine. We did some shows opening for Co in Texas and Oklahoma. And that was my first time really getting to meet Co and Dre and the wild bunch that is in that family.
I love those guys.
I do too. They're fucking great
Yeah,
guys,
man.
good friends of the program with what we do. And but the first time seeing a Co show, I was like,
Bro.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It's crazy because when they came to Ascend, I got to go to the
Yeah.
Ascend show. I saw y'all
Yep.
there walking up and just going to the Ascend show and just looking back from seeing it now and looking back when I was at a D2 football stadium watching these guys just be rock stars up for Whiskey Myers was truly something. It was something really cool.
Yeah, that I'm sure you got some wild stories.
Oh yeah, man! I'll never forget when so Co came when he came to Arkadelphia. There's a bar kind of like the Rusty Nail, but it was called the Q, and that was the bar in town. And he came to the queue, and that place just packed out. And it had like one of those shopping mall parking lots, and the whole place was just full. And so everybody, it was like, oh, Co-Wetzel's in town, Co-Wetzel's in town. And back then, he was known to show up at like frat parties.
Yeah.
He'd just show up at frat parties, and it would start a street parade. Like, I know he shut down streets in Arkadelphia. I know he went down to Magnolia, to SAU, Southern Arkansas University, and just would shut down streets, and they'd have like street parades, like the old 90s days. And I'm like, what artist around 2018 is doing shit like that? Like It was OG gangster stuff. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is wild. So now, since being up here, you've gotten some traction, dude.
Yeah,
and looking back, doing the American Idol shit, like people always have, like, I feel like there's different stigmas, and folks there's like the stigma to the folks, to the kids that come up and have the opportunities before they move to town of Idol and The Voice and different things like that. Just like there's a stigma to people that play out in town.
Right. Yeah.
So what's that kind of been like, navigating that? Because there's people that are like, oh, you don't want to play on Broadway. You're going to get stuck on Broadway.
Yeah.
But it's like there's great opportunities down there. And then there's the same thing with these competition shows. Like, I have a friend, Claudia, who's on The Voice right now and killing it. We saw Hunter Girl with Idol, like Caleb Lathrop was on a show. You've been on shows.
So
like
Caleb Lathrop was actually one of the people in that Jelly Roll story I was talking about.
Shit.
So he'd come up to us and start whispering. He's like, I'm gonna be on Idol this coming season. Like, dude, he's like, it's nice to meet you. I remember watching you last season. I won't be on this season, dude. Like, I'm a part of the crew. I was like, come on. So, like, there's a picture, like, of all of these American Idol people, and Caleb's in it. And then now, it's cool because he made it on the show and got the American Idol experience. But at that time, nobody, knew who he was yet, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Do you feel like there is kind of like a stigma to it? Like, a lot of artists don't want to. Like, one of the things, like when I've had label artists on before, one of the things is they don't want to talk about their experience doing that. Like, but you even look like artists like Morgan Wallen was on The Voice. People
100%.
forget that. He was on The Voice covering fucking One Direction and Kings of Leon, Like, it's been a thing for a long time, but like, for your experiences, because you've had success organically in town, but then you've done the nationwide thing with those shows. Like, like balancing that shit.
So a lot of people saw me when I was on American Idol when I was 15 because I got a lot of airtime. But I was actually back on American Idol when I was 21, about 2 years ago. And I made the top 40. And I learned a lot going through that experience because, you hear all the horror stories about, the contracts. And there's all kinds of things that people are worried about with Idol. But I to be honest, I wouldn't be here without it. It's basically kind of, I would call it, rites of passage for a lot of artists, because when you're there, it's a networking monster, because everybody there on American Idol is going to do something in their career. Maybe not everybody, but most people are going to do something in their career, and they're at that point that they're fixing to make a break, because there's an age limit, not like The Voice or America's Got Talent. There's an age limit with American Idol. It's like 27 is the oldest age, and then the youngest age is 15. So between those years of age, all these people have a chance of doing something real big if they haven't done it yet. And so that's what I loved about American Idol. Is like, I've got friends. One of my really close friends I met on Idol is Mason Vaya, and me and Mason were on the show together. And about 3 months after we got off the show, he ends up meeting. And he already knew them, was good friends with Old Crow Medicine Show, and he ends up being the co-lead singer of Old Crow Medicine Show. Starts going on tour with them. So it's cool to see people that you started out with, on that show, that go and do big things, because everybody's at that point that they're about to do.
Yeah. Now, coming up out of Arkansas, was that one of your first times being on an airplane?
Oh, my first time ever being on an airplane was when I was 15.
Going to Idol?
Yeah, going to Idol. Yeah, going to Hollywood. So I got to tell this story. This is a really great story.
Yeah.
It'll take up a few minutes. But when I wasn't really trying to be an artist at the time. I was just in love with music. So I started playing drums when I was 12. I was on the drum line in the high school band and was kind of doing that thing. And then I started playing in a blues band when I was about 13, 14. Hot Springs, Arkansas, it was the Spa City Blues in the Schools, the Spa City Blues Society. And so I started playing in this blues band, and our guitar player quit. I was a drummer, but we had another drummer. It was two drummers, and then we only had one guitar player. Our guitar player quit, and I was like, well, I'll start learning how to play guitar. So I started learning some chords and stuff. Joined the band. My first gig playing guitar is, Rum Boogies on Bill Street. So I start doing the blues band thing, and then been playing for about 6 months, and we had moved from Nashville, Arkansas, me and my family, to Murfreesboro, Arkansas. And
You're kidding me.
no,
There's
I'm not
there's a
kidding you.
fucking
There's
Murfreesboro.
a Murfreesboro. That's where my family lives now. So we moved up to
I
Murfreesboro.
love that.
This is a wild story. So we moved
Yeah.
from Nashville, Arkansas to Murfreesboro, Arkansas. And we got a big place with about, 50 acres, big 3-acre pond, all this stuff. And, me being a redneck and country as shit, I was wanting to fish this pond, but I didn't have a boat to fish it. So I'm looking for a flat bottom boat. So I go driving around, and I find this old man right down the street that's got a flat bottom boat for sale for $300. And so I'm like, all right, I got to find $300. So I go to my parents and like, hey, there's this flat bottom boat for sale down the road. Or we really like to get it to fish the pond. They're like, no, you're 15. We want to start teaching you a lesson of how you need to work for what you want, work for what you should get. So I'm like, okay, so back to the drawing board. What's the easiest get-rich-quick scheme that I can get this flat-bottom boat and get $300? So start looking around, and over in Hope, Arkansas, which is actually where May Estes is from. We grew up about 30 minutes from each other.
Yeah.
Over in Hope, Arkansas, there's a watermelon festival. And they call it, there's the Hope Watermelon Festival, and they had a talent show called Watermelon Idol.
Wow.
And so Watermelon Idol, if you made the top 5, you got to compete for $300, and the winner got $300 cash prize, and you got to open up for Sammy Kershaw. And so I was like, this is the end. This is every redneck's dream. So let's go try to win this competition. So I go on Tuesday, and there's like 20, 25 people there. And so I start playing my song. I'll do Can't You See by Marshall Tucker Band. I start playing this song, and I go up there and get off stage. Everybody's, oh, you did great. There's no way you didn't make it. They come out with the results. I don't make the top 5 to come back on Saturday, and I am pissed. I'm like, here we go. I got to go work, do some
I lost the
jobs.
damn Watermelon Idol.
And I lost Watermelon Idol. How in the hell am I going to get my flat bottom boat now? I got to go work for a couple months and get $300. It's going to suck. Well, Mom comes up to me after it's over, and she goes, hey, I know that I thought you were going to have plans on Saturday because I thought you were going to make it. But since you didn't, over in Little Rock, they're having American Idol auditions. Won't we go try out for American Idol? I said, Mom, if I can't make Watermelon Idol, how in the hell am I going to make American Idol? She said, I believe in you. Let's go do it. So we go, and we get there 9 a.m., which if you ever do one of those experiences is way too late. You need to be there right when the sun comes up because everybody's lining up outside the arenas. Which they've went, since COVID, they've went full Zoom. So that's not even a thing anymore. But you used to line up in front of the arenas, do the cattle call auditions, and they had 8 tables. And you go up in pairs of 2 and go in all, or actually it was lines of 3. There's 3 people, and they kind of mock, American Idol. Like, 2 of y'all step back, 1 of y'all step forward. All right, the one step forward, come with me, go in the next round, kind of do this thing. And they started out that, and they would kind of mock film it. Well, I went down there, and I went from one table to the other and went to another round, and then they asked me to come back the next day, so we drive all the way home from Little Rock and go back the next day. And they're like, hey, we want you to come audition for us in front of the celebrity judges here in about a month. And so Jennifer Lopez, Harry Connick Jr., Keith Urban all came to Little Rock, and I auditioned in front of them. They're like, you're going to Hollywood. So this is where the airplane thing comes in. So I go to Hollywood, and me and Mom go up to Little Rock Airport, and we're sitting there, and we get on the plane, and one of my best friends now is Trent Harmon, and he's sitting next to us.
Oh, dude, love Trent Harmon.
Yeah, Trent's
love
one of my
that
best
guy.
friends. And so
Such a good
that's
guy.
when me and him kind of connected, and we're on this plane, my first airplane experience ever, and we fly. It was just connect flight, so we're going from Little Rock to Dallas-Fort Worth to LAX. So we fly down to Dallas-Fort Worth, and it's early in the morning, 6, 7 in the morning. Sun's barely coming up. We fly out, and there's a thunderstorm happening. And we're riding around, and I'm like, oh, this is fun. It's my first time on an airplane. This is great. And I'm steadily doing this thing the whole time. And, the flight attendant comes and sits by us, and she's sitting over here like this, and I don't know what's going on. And we finally land, and me and Trent's like, hey, are you okay? She's like, that I flew on thousands of flights, and that was the scariest flight I've ever been on. And I'm like, sweet, that was the greatest first flight I've ever had. So yeah, and I have not had a bumpy flight like that since. But for my first one, the flight attendant said that was the scariest flight she had ever had. So I guess that just was, setting the tone for the rest of my career.
I just love you should have that in your Instagram bio. Watermelon Idol
to
reject,
American
American Idol contestant.
I will update that.
Honestly, bro, I think that is fucking awesome.
Yeah, man.
And Trent Harmon, great fucking guy. I've gotten to
Great
know
person.
Trent was when I was doing the radio thing, because that's my background. Was I was a college radio DJ and then involved in the New Jersey, New York scene whenever artists would come through. And it's funny looking back because you'd have like baby Morgan Wallen playing at Jenks Club where they used to fist bump and film the Jersey Shore. We used to have country nights there every Wednesday, and we had Wallen as one of the guys that came through there. Like,
it's epic night.
Baby Florida Georgia Line baseball jersey with a fucking flap rim hat Wallen, you know? Like, looks like he did now. His hair was a little bit longer than it is now. But I met Trent Harmon around that same circuit because he had come up and played a show at in Asbury Park at a venue near the Stone Pony called the House of Independence. It was always such a nice guy, and then I got reconnected with him recently through our buddy Anthony Mossberg, which I'm sure you know Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony and we're real close friends.
Talk about just an underrated dude.
Oh man,
Mossberg can sing and write.
He's got it going on, man.
And he's got the and he's one of those guys too. And this is something I can definitely talk to you about. A conversation we can definitely have. The social media thing, bro. Like it's so interesting. There's so many different ways to kind of invent the wheel and have success. And everybody's definition of success is a little bit different.
100%.
Like obviously you want to get shit going in town. You want to have
you want to have it happen immediately. That's not always
well, you want it to happen immediately, but then at the same time you also want there to be success out of town because you can be the biggest thing in Nashville. You can be the biggest fucking thing at Music Row, have all the buzz about you. You can't sell tickets and you're not getting streams outside of Nashville. You ain't worth a fuck, you know? Like honestly, dead ass. And then there's people that don't have as much buzz in town but have over 100,000 TikTok followers. Yeah. But don't even have the music out yet because they don't know how to.
They're nothing in town. So it's like that. Yeah. It's that find that medium.
It's so weird. Balance. Yeah, which that's what excites me about you is that you're going out and starting to do shows out of town. Yeah, man. Like you have, and it's not even I would say, but it's just people love being around you. And I'm not trying to gas you up too much right now, but like when you walk into a room, it's like fuck yeah, Skinny's here. Like there's just energy and positivity and good vibes. And even if you might not be having the best day, you make everybody else.
I never want to show that, you know,
bro. You make everybody else around you feel like $1 million just because you're there and smiling and being you. And it's awesome to have that. And like you have this, so in that aspect, you have like the buzz in town, and obviously you signed some papers that have changed things a little bit, and getting ready to like. Your career, your solo career is starting to take off in directions that you want it to, which at 24 is very impressive and great. And now it's how do you take what you've created and cultivated here in Nashville, Tennessee, that started in Nashville, Arkansas, that's now in Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah. How do you take that shit to the world? You know?
How do you broadcast that?
Yeah.
100%. So, that's what I'm trying to do right now is because I grew up as a live performer before I started, doing the social media and everything. And that's kind of what I feel like handicapped me a little bit with, the big experience I got on American Idol when I was 15 is I didn't know how to do social media and just didn't really care. Yeah. So I kind of missed out on a big opportunity to kind of start a fan base really young when I didn't know what I was doing. And so that was one of the key things of, learning, hey, I need to start posting. I need to start building a brand. I need to take it right now. And I made a commitment to myself when I was 15 or 16 of, Ethan, because that's my real name.
Yes. Breaking news, if you don't know, Ethan.
Yeah. So I was like, Ethan, what are you going to do with your life? Are you going to do this full time, or are you going to go to college and do something else? And so I made a commitment to myself at 15 is like, I'm not going to have any serious girlfriends. I'm not going to get married. I'm not going to have any kids. I'm going to devote myself. I'm going to start Lil Skinny. I'm going to start this brand right now. And hopefully by 8 to 10 years, I can make something happen. And so we're at 8 going on year 9, of starting from that, that point. And so that's what I just had to make a commitment that early and stick with it. And it's kind of, what's kind of happening now. So.
Full circle. You were talking about before, people say it's a 10-year town, and it is. it might not even be a 10-year town.
It doesn't
might
have
be
to be in town.
It could be a 10-year process.
It's a 10-year process, and that's why I tell everybody it doesn't have to be here in this town.
Yeah,
doesn't mean when somebody does move to town and something blows up for them, doesn't mean that there wasn't a lot of preparation that you didn't see before that.
Yeah. What are the big differences between Lil Skinny and Ethan? Because a big thing that people need to find and to be successful is, in my opinion, I mean, Nikki and I talk about it all the time. We say like our four things that like really make an artist right now. The distinct voice. When you know it's a guy or a girl, you know who the fuck that is. You know it's Luke Combs. You know it's Morgan Wallen. You know it's Lil Skinny.
Yeah.
You hear that sound. The songs, obviously, it starts with the songs. Without the song, you don't have a fucking thing.
Right.
And then having like a bit that makes them different from everybody else, like an authentically like to where. Yes, a brand, exactly. Having that, and then the viral moment or the big kind of moment, which you could look at Ashley McBride with the Garth Brooks and Eric Church stuff that happened. Obviously, Wallen's had those, Combs has had those. Like
Stapleton.
Yeah, Stapleton. Yeah, of course. Yeah, just having that big moment, whether that's on TV or that's social media or whatever, that's captured. But the branding. And there's so many artists and so many just people in general that are like that NPC, that non-playable character that's like in Grand Theft Auto or in Call of Duty that's just kind of chilling off to the side.
You're just like hanging out.
That doesn't have that energy or have that thing that separates him or herself from
doesn't
other
knock
people.
The talent. They could be one of the most talented people
in
town, but you kind of have to find this thing and own it.
I don't want to say names, but there's a lot of guys and girls that come to mind that have great voices, great songs, but there's nothing that's like there's no like pizzazz. There's nothing there. Right. And to me, that to me is one of your greatest strong suits. Is you're like, this is me, I am Lil Skinny. This is who I am, and you have this energy about you. Yeah. Man. So like, what's the difference of like?
What's the difference between Skinny and Ethan? Kind of thing? Yeah, man. So Ethan, before I even kind of started building the Lil Skinny brand, because I've got to thank my mom for that, because she kind of showed me the way of like a bunch of the guys I idolized growing up. Like one of my biggest idols was Stevie Ray Vaughan. If you ever see a picture or video of Stevie Ray Vaughan, that man is decked out in the coolest ghetto ass, just cool suits, swagger. He had the thing going on, and so that was one of the things like Ethan was lacking. Like, man, I was cool with putting on back in Arkansas, a houndstooth t-shirt, like a Cabela's Bass Pro t-shirt, like long sleeve, some blue jeans, some boots, and maybe not have brushed my hair in 2 days, and I was content. And so, like, I was just, all about just hanging out, going out, doing my thing, but not really kind of dressing up and being a brand. So seeing my mom pointing out stuff about, like, Stevie Ray Vaughan and those guys like that had this whole picture of every time you saw them, they had some kind of look, some kind of charisma, some kind of theme for that day. And so I thought that was really cool, to kind of take into light and use it as an inspiration of building your own character. So like when you walk in a room, they don't forget you when you walk out.
Yeah.
100%.
Dude, and that to me is, again, like, even before you and I really got to know each other, 'cause we're boys.
Yeah.
Like you're family.
Dog.
When I think of artists that I'm like, that guy's my fucking boy.
Yeah.
You're at the top, like, and the fact we live nearby each other out here east of town in Hermitage and all that stuff. But even before then, I was like, I felt like I knew you through what you were posting and through our minimal encounters that we would have at Live Oak or Losers. Like you would just pop in, you pop, and that's the thing too, dude. The Midtown is an interesting place to fucking navigate, and it's changed in the fucking last 6 months. It's changed in the last year with different things that used to be there that
are
the
last 3 weeks. I mean, it's constantly changing,
bro. Yeah, like it's navigating Midtown.
It's crazy.
It's exhausting. That's why I like being at the Nail. Like I love what we do at Live Oak, and I love we do between 6 and 8 events a month at Live Oak right now. And I know you have your event there as well, Lil Skinny's Rowdy Shit Show, which we love. We're big fans of what you do over there, brother. And especially being on a Tuesday night, making Tuesdays like one of the nights at Live Oak. But one thing that I like about the Rusty Nail is you don't have to have the hey, how are you Midtown conversations that we have, and especially me being sober. I'm California sober, so I used to have a really bad habit of seeing how much caffeine I could drink and how much THC I could intake before I went out, and I was just floating. And it was, then you get paranoid, and then there's this, and then you bump into that person at Red Door that you're not mad about seeing them, but you're like, fuck, I don't want to spend 20 minutes in this conversation. Yeah.
And then you make an awkward dip and jump the patio and take off running down the street. And you're just like,
oh, I haven't done that.
Well, I've seen people do that. I'm just assuming that's kind of the combination they had going in their system.
Yeah. What do you think has changed a lot about Midtown here in the last 3 weeks?
Well, man, I think it's kind of changed. I feel like I kind of miss the community that, things like, Whiskey Jam brought down there. It's kind of taking a different turn. And I feel like on the weekends, if you go down to Midtown, it's almost like a second Broadway.
Yeah, Losers on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Even Thursday is a little borderline. It's different than a Friday, Saturday.
It's different, man. It's like half capacity, cool vibes, not dead, but not too many people. You can't hang and have a good time. But when, man, about Thursdays at Turning Point, Thursday nights getting kind of packed. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's blown out of the water, and it kind of turns into that college Broadway type atmosphere. So I feel like that's a big, culture shock, and I'm hoping it doesn't happen full time down there.
Yeah, and I'm hoping it doesn't happen with Demumbrian either.
Right, 100%.
Is Demumbrian? Were you ever a Tin Roof guy or not really?
Yeah, man. I've bumped around in Tin Roof a few times. I can see if you can get in there on a weekend night, I prefer to hang in Tin Roof. But those lines are way down the street,
But they haven't been recently,
right?
Because Barstool opened up.
Now Barstool,
I still haven't been there,
dude. You haven't been there?
No, well, dude, you got to think. I first moved to town. My first job. Have you had jobs outside of music since you moved here, or have you been able to gig enough to?
I've been blessed enough to gig enough full time. Actually, this is a funny fun fact. A lot of people don't know this about me. When I first moved to town, I couldn't get music gigs because the music competition was so high, but I could get acting gigs, and I started acting. And so when I first moved to town, and for the first 4 or 5 months, I'd acted in different music videos, TV shows.
Really?
Yeah, man. So my first gig, my buddy, our buddy Vaden. So Vaden nicknames me Skinny Gump because I'm like Forrest Gump. I keep walking into shit. And he's like, well, here's Skinny. He had to go to the White House again. He's like, it's Skinny Gump.
Yeah.
So this is one of the Skinny Gump moments. I had been here for maybe a month, going a little over a month, and I ended up winding up being a background actor in Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran's music video.
Really?
Yeah, man. And so I get the Joker and the Queen. If you go look at it,
no shit.
Yeah, man. I'm throughout. I'm in party scenes. I'm playing bass in a band, like in a high school band room. Like I'm playing bass in it. Like yeah, man. I'm like throughout like this music video, and then I started picking up other ones. Adam Doliak's music video. The Taylor Austin Dies. I did hers. Well, that was a little bit later. I was J. Michael Adams, and rest in peace.
Wow.
And so yeah, man, I just started doing like acting stuff, and I was able to make $300, $400, $500 a gig, and that's how I was kind of started hustling that thing, and started surviving, and then I finally started getting gigs, and then I think about 4 or 5 months in is when I finally get my Losers gig over in Midtown, and that's kind of what set me as a Midtown staple, so to speak. But,
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, my first gig in town. So I had been working in radio and doing that back home. And the plan was to come down here and work in radio, but kind of parlay it or pair it with bouncing on Broadway. Right. My first year in town, I was a door guy at fucking Whiskey Row.
Oh, shit. You've seen that thing or two.
Bro, yeah, my first weekend I actually just celebrated my 5-year Nashversary, if you will. Nashversary. I moved down here Halloween weekend of 2018.
Yeah, so this was like past weekend.
This past weekend, bro, which was crazy because last week we had 4 events in town and we did we were running and gunning. We could talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
But my thing is with downtown, and like I'll enjoy going down there every once in a while. But that was all that I knew when I first moved here, bro. Like, I couldn't go to Whiskey Jam on a Monday night because I was checking IDs at Whiskey Row till 3 a.m. I was Friday, Saturday, Sunday day shift.
Falling asleep at 5 a.m.
Yeah, it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday day shift, which was like 9 a.m. to about 7 p.m., sometimes 9 p.m. And then Monday, Tuesday, I would do the night shifts, and then I'd be off Wednesday, Thursday, and sometimes I'd work Wednesday. Sometimes I'd go 7 days in a row, bro. I was doing it was fucking nuts. So for me, it's like going to bars downtown. It's different.
It's different.
You know, it's a different vibe, especially when you're sober.
Especially when you've worked in it. You know, I've played a few stages down in Broadway. You know, I was really wanting to make a go of staying in Midtown, but you know,
what circuit were you doing on Broadway? Because people don't know this too. There's the different circuits. The circuits of like the Tequila Cowboys circuit,
100%.
the Tootsie's circuit, the bars on Second Avenue that are co-owned by different people.
Some circuits only let you use stage monitors. Some circuits only make you do in-ears. You know, and it's crazy because a lot of people don't know.
Where were you gigging at?
So so Losers had a location downtown. And I played there.
Used to be called Swinging Doors.
Swinging Doors. And when I moved here, it just changed.
Yes.
Yeah, they just bought it. And so, yeah, man. So I was at Losers downtown quite a bit doing acoustic gigs. And then I started doing like the bootlegger circuit. So like bootleggers. Okay. And I would start just kind of doing band gigs down there and just kind of keep my chops up. And I played a couple others, just kind of, you know, one spots. I played Old Red a couple times, acoustic.
That to me is just a different vibe.
Old Red.
It's a family vibe.
It's a family vibe, and they're cool about doing the artistry thing too. You know, they're not 100% cover type venue, which I love.
Yeah, like getting to play originals and things like that.
100%, and they want you to kind of, you know, they like bringing in name brand artists who are trying to, you know, go outside of Nashville. So
yeah, if you have a friend coming into town, 3 places you take them in Nashville. Oh. All right, and we'll do different friends. We'll start it out. Mom and dad come in.
Okay.
Mom and dad come in. Where are you taking them? 3 places, restaurants, locations, whatever.
Yeah,
3 places.
So I think one of my top places I'd take them is we love walking around Marathon Village. So like we go down to like where like the American Pickers and stuff. Their store is like H-Bar-C. We go around there. If I was going to take them somewhere to eat. That's a tough one, man.
There's a lot of fucking restaurants out there.
Dude, there's a fucking
See, I've been starting to go to like nicer restaurants. You know Erin really well, my girlfriend.
Oh yeah,
and
100%.
She's turned me into a fan of the Gulch and 12 South. Two places I did not know very well prior to our relationship, getting in the relationship in the spring.
100%, man.
So there's a lot of good restaurants down there, but I feel like there's a lot of good down home restaurants and just random places.
Well, random places too, man. You know, one of our favorite places we love to go is the Elston Place Soda Shop. Man.
Yes.
It's got a good vibe. The
old school.
Good. That chest pie, man, is out of this world, dude. It's just old school, good vibes. Another place we like to go is I can't think of it. Barbecue place.
Edley's?
No.
Martin's?
Martin's, yeah. So, but we like the Martin's behind Elston Place, the one on because that one's never packed. And
yes,
it's
the one
delicious.
off Charlotte.
Charlotte, yeah, man, that one's killer. Yeah, so we go to that one quite a bit. But if I was wanting to go sit down somewhere like really nice, like really fancy, I would do something like Hall's Chop House.
Bro, I went there for the first time this past week.
It's good.
Dude, best steak of my fucking life. And I'm glad I didn't have to pay for the bill, which was very nice.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn.
Hall's is really good. And dude, there's a new seafood place that opened up that if you want the steak, this is the surf and turf thing, is Joe Muir.
Where's that?
And so it's like it's kind of like off in the Gulch area, kind of off the Gulch area. I can't remember. I was riding an Uber when I was going there, so I can't remember exact spot of town. But Joe Muir, Joemuer seafood.
Okay.
Killer.
Now 3 friends come in town that are looking to get rowdy and party. Where are you taking them?
Well, if they haven't seen Broadway, I gotta take them to Broadway. It's just it's kind of a rite.
And now, do you start at the top of the street and work your way down?
Straight to Kid Rock's.
You go straight to Bob's.
Yeah, I go straight to Bob's. I got to support my boy. You know, we go straight down to Bob's, go up on the mezzanine, and just let them get the whole Kid Rock experience. You know, because that's some of the wildest, coolest parties I've ever had. It's been in that bar, so it's just kind of a nostalgic thing for me. It's like, hey, this is one of my hangouts if I'm not hanging in Midtown, and then. Of course, we'll transition and do the Red Door Losers local Live Oak thing. Start from tin roof down and just kind of end it with a nightcap at the local or something.
How loud? Bob's has to be the loudest bar in town. It's got to be like 120 dBs.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. the stories and things I've seen in that bar are pretty.
What was your first time in there like?
So well, actually, the first time ever, I was like 15 visit or not 15, 17 17, 18 during the day visiting in there, and that's when I kind of was like, whoa! And it first opened. I remember when it first opened, we came in. Me and Mom made a trip to Nashville, and I think Mom, Dad, and brother all just came out here, and we went down to Kid Rocks for the first time, and I was like, this place is gonna be epic. Did I know that 5 years from now it's gonna be like one of my friends' bars and I get to hang down there? No, I did not know that was gonna happen, but it's kind of cool seeing how it starts until what it's turned into. But yeah, man, just some wild, great times.
What was your first time like meeting Bob?
Yeah, man. So
was that through John and just Losers connection,
actually,
or how does that happen?
That was a completely different connection. That was actually a Vegas connection. So I don't know if
Vegas.
Yeah, so
I didn't know you've done things out in Vegas.
Oh, so that's really how I've gotten all my success here recently. It was from a Vegas trip. So Losers sent me out. They acquired several different venues. You know, Losers has a venue in MGM Grand in Las Vegas that a lot of people go play, but I ended up not playing at the Losers, but they sent me out there for 10 days during the National Finals Rodeo.
Oh, for NFR.
For NFR.
Okay.
And so we went out to NFR back last December, and that's when my whole life changed. I went out there for 10 days. We played, me and Chris Anrucci. We went out there.
Four in Wallen.
Yeah, 4 in Wallen, my dog. We went out there, and we played 4 hours a night for 10 nights straight. 40 hours of singing in 10 days.
Wow.
And so we went out there and just straight went on a party. And that was probably one of the coolest trips I've ever been on, and probably one of the most productive trips. I made so many great friends, and that's how I end up, getting signed to my artist development deal with Drop Time Music. Was through a connection to one of my best friends is Rocker Steiner, and he's a bareback rider, and he was actually competing in the first year in the National Finals Rodeo that year, and he came out to my show, and me and him just hit it off, and him and Cowboy Cerrone, the UFC fighter.
Yeah,
went bumping around MGM and just became homies. And it was one of the coolest experiences, like the 6th night of the NFR.
So who's the most famous person in your phone? This is a common podcast question. I haven't done it in a long time, but with you, I feel like I can do it. Most famous non-music person.
Non-music person?
You don't have to call him or anything.
No, I'm just trying to think. Like, I'm just trying to think who's in my phone and who's not.
Because a lot of people with social media, you don't even need phone numbers anymore. Like, you can just do Instagram DMs and stuff,
100%,
which is what a lot of people do.
I think probably one of the most famous would be between John and John's probably like
John Daly.
Yeah, John Daly. Yeah, so JD probably he's on my favorites list because like he calls me his second son. Like he's like he calls me his son.
Now, does that have to do with does that have to do with the Losers and his passion for music, or do you think it also has to do with being an Arkansas kid?
Arkansas dude. So
that Arkansas thing's got to be huge with John.
Yeah, so I met John out here at Losers when the first time we actually met, but one of my close friends, sadly he's passed on, but Ryan Mallett, the famous quarterback.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So
Ryan used to come to Nashville all the time.
So Ryan was one of my homies, and so I was kind of one of the guys that showed Ryan Midtown and started bringing him around, and so that's why he started bumping in the local Losers, Live Oak, and so he had just kind of randomly was wanting to get off Broadway and walked in the Doghouse when I was first playing. I've been there for like 4 or 5 months on a Sunday. I mean, him went down and just got shit hammered on a Sunday evening and had an absolute blast down in Midtown. I kind of started showing him around, and me and Ryan became close friends. Well, he took some videos and he sent some videos to John Daly of me. He's like, dude, you gotta check this kid out, bro. He's awesome. And what a lot of people don't realize about John is he does drink a lot, he parties a lot, but he's one of the sharpest minds I've ever been around, even in that environment. He remembers everything. Like he could, be 3 bottles of Belvedere in, and the next day he's going to be like, man, dude, that was fun last night. Remember when we did this, and this, and he's going to remember all of it. It's pretty incredible talent.
No shit.
And so yeah, man. So I bumped into John at Losers the first time I saw him. I was in there playing when he came in, and he goes, hey, Ryan Mallett sent me some videos and remembered everything, and was like, dude, come over here to my table. And for a while he couldn't get my nickname right. He called me Sticks. And he's like, hey, Sticks, come over here, Sticks. And then from then on, he just bump in from time to time, get up, we jam together, and we just kind of started started jamming, and then me and his daughter became really close, and she's like my sister, Daly. I love them, and they're like my second family, and so that's when we started to kind of develop, and a really close friendship, and that's kind of how it kind of all played out. Meeting John was
No
that,
shit.
but yeah, man. But the Vegas trip. So when I met Rocker Steiner, before they left, they called a producer named Jimmy Ritchie, and that's how Jimmy ended up, introduced me to Catino, and that's how everything started working with Drop Time. And that's what's cool is how organic it happened, just from playing a bar gig out in Vegas, meeting a friend that I had no idea who he was, that was riding horses for a living, which was really cool, and we just developed a bond and had a great friendship that ended up setting up a really cool career for me so far. So I'm excited for the music we got coming out and everything. It's going to be happening,
dude.
so.
And Jim Catino, for those that don't know, as the dude that's been a part of kind of shaping the music industry here in Nashville over the last 2-3 decades.
Legend.
Like just
him and Jimmy Ritchie both.
Yes, they've both been around for a very long time, and we have some other friends that are involved within Jim's family. Guys like Dalton Dover, like Alex Maxwell, like Joy Beth Taylor. Obviously, very tight with Kane, and all of that's in the verse 2 stuff and things going on, and so that's a great place for you to be, dude. And that's a huge, got to be a big validation thing for you too, to have folks that could really be working with anyone in town and have worked with everyone to say, we want to work with you, Lil Skinny. Like we see something in you. And from fucking 9 years ago, as that 15-year-old kid not making it through Watermelon Idol to flying out with all these people out to California, that crazy flight, to now you've got music out as Lil Skinny. You've got people that want to hear what you have to say. You've gotten to open up for some cool people. You're getting out there to do your own damn shows, and it's got to be exciting, man.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. Yeah, we released my first real single in 8 years. Like a month ago, which was cool. Is I worked with 3 different producers and did 3 different productions of my own original stuff, and I never was happy with it. I would just throw it away, just didn't use it. I spent and wasted a shit ton of money, working with different producers to, and I just didn't feel like it was time. I didn't feel like it was right to put out music, and it was good music, and I made good connections. Like one of the producers I worked with, I still love to this day, is Kent Wells.
Yes,
and that's how I ended up getting to sing on Dolly Parton's record. So I got to sing background vocals on Daly's new rock and roll records coming out this month, and so Rockstar. And so I got to sing like backgrounds of Purple Rain and like all these icons. We Are the Champions.
You really are fucking Skinny Gump.
Yeah, Skinny Gump. I walked.
You really are.
Stuff.
You just fucking pop up, dude. Like
it's wild.
We're gonna look back. Like there's gonna my like people are gonna be watching videos like 20 years from now and be like, oh shit, that's Lil Skinny in the background of that. Like,
yeah, man, it's crazy. I just
find yourself
around
in the weirdest the coolest situations.
Yeah, man. My dad gave me some really cool advice, and I took it to heart. He told me, he said, son, if you hang around 3 junkies, you'll be the 4th one. He said, hang around 3 millionaires, you'll be the 4th one. He said, you are who you hang around with. And if you hang yourself around, he said, I'm not saying you need to hang around millionaires all the time, but he said, if you you surround yourself, with good people and successful people, he said, the rest will take you, to, places you'll never know.
Amen, dude. That's a good spot, and I think a good place to kind of wrap up. That's from the quote, the words of wisdom from Big Skinny to Little Skinny.
Yeah.
What do we got going on the rest of this year? So we're into November. This year has fucking flown by.
It's going by crazy.
What do you got for the close out this year, and then what do we have to look forward to? I'm guessing we got some fucking music coming, boy.
Yeah, man. So we just released the first single. So we got Let's Have a Ball out right now. My next single is Red Dirt Over Blacktop. It'll be coming out December.
Love that one.
Yeah, man. December 15th. Wrote that with some boys there kind of in the camp as well. Dan and Reed Isbell.
Hell yeah.
Guys. Yeah, man. So, so we got that one coming out December 15th. We're hoping, for my AP to come out, kind of end of February, early spring, kind of starting in March. having my EP from Nashville to Nashville come out.
I love that title.
And so
Nashville to Nashville.
And so that's kind of what we're looking forward to. This weekend I've got or actually tomorrow, where I'm fixing to, after I get done here, I'm fixing to go pack my bags and head down to Texarkana. I'm opening up for Priscilla Block tomorrow night.
Hell yeah! So this podcast is coming out tomorrow.
Oh, cool!
So it's coming out tomorrow noon. So tonight.
So tonight, tonight I'll be opening up for Priscilla Block in Texarkana.
Bro, you got to get one of those traffic controller vests. You should walk out because I'm sure it's gonna be cold as fuck. Like
it's gonna be like 45 degrees in Texarkana tonight.
You should come out wearing the jacket. Maybe the coyote hat too, but wear that and then the traffic vest over that, bro.
It's so 99 on me. That'd be so
bro,
awesome.
She would, and then that's how you get in with Prissy. Like
100%.
I don't know if you know Priscilla or not already.
I've seen her out at Losers a couple times. She's about
her, Kara. They're great people. Very close with that camp. That's a good crew. You're gonna have
it's gonna be a party.
You're gonna have a ball. No pun intended.
Oh, 100%. There will be some Busch Light drink. Oh, we're gonna have a ball.
Hell yeah, dude. Now, where can people go to find you on social media and all that shit?
Yeah, so social media all the way across the board is LIL_skinny_music. But if you just put LIL Skinny, and it'll pop up.
And you got music out on Spotify.
Yeah,
Apple
man.
Music,
Especially go follow me on Spotify. That's the key thing right now. So.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, Lil Skinny, thank you so much for joining us, brother.
Pleasure.
We appreciate you. Y'all be sure to follow our boy Lil Skinny and be on the lookout for Nashville to Nashville coming out in February. And he's got the new single out right now. Got another single coming.
Yeah,
Hopefully, you said before
15th.
December 15th.
Yeah, December 15th.
Red Dirt over
Blacktop. Yeah, Red Dirt over Blacktop.
Red Dirt over Blacktop coming December 15th. And one of our favorite dudes in town. So y'all do the right thing and give him a follow. Appreciate all y'all watching and listening to another edition of Outside the Round. Shout out to our friends from Big Friendly Productions, Saxman Studios, our boy Mitch Wallace with The Digital Marketing Agency, and of course, Wales with Whale Tail Media. Y'all want to know more about us, visit raisedrowdy.com. Got a bunch of merch, got a bunch of shit going on. And also, I'll mention this on here and to you, December the 13th.
Yeah.
It's a Wednesday night. We are doing our first ever Raised Rowdy Christmas party. And it's going to be at the Rusty Nail. It's going to be open to the public. BYOB, bring your own beer money.
Love that.
And we're doing a special to benefit Toys for Tots. You bring a toy to donate, you get a free draft beer. So bring a toy, get a free beer. And we're going to be doing karaoke and all that shit. So December 13th, y'all mark the calendar. And, of course, our normal rounds and events that we do. We'll appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure to like, rate, subscribe, all that shit. We will see you next time. This has been Outside the Round.